Louisville got a nice 74-64 win over Cincinnati, reviving a regional rivalry, Dion. However, it was not always this pretty. Started out pretty rough for the Cards, who began the game 0 for 10 from the field, 0 for 8 from three, and had a 5 minute scoring drought in there as well. At one point, Cincinnati was up 17-6. Seemed like they really frustrated Louisville with their physical defense. They completely walled off the paint, forced the Cards into some tough jumpers. Then on the other end, they just sort of went at Ali Khalifa and the entire Louisville front court. However, Michael Brown Jr. came alive, Ryan Conwell came alive, and the Cards pulled away late. Uh, really sloppy game at first, Dion, but I think there's still plenty to take away positive if you're a Louisville fan.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I thought Louisville played well. I think this ultimately though is a bit of my fear with Louisville. I think throughout the year, I think they're going to have games where they just don't shoot well, and I think
Mm-hmm.
anybody's going to be able to hang with them. Um, Michael 4 of 15, I believe he was.
Yeah, rough
Two of
shooting night
nine
for
from
him.
three. McNeely was 0 of 3 from three. Um, I think more often than not, like you're not going to get bad games from the two of them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like that feels pretty far-fetched, but like if two of McNeely, um, Michael, and Conwell don't play well at the same time, what's left?
Mm-hmm.
What's left?
Yeah.
And I think that kind of presents a bit of an issue that like we kind of saw play out in this game. Overall, I mean, I think you're fine because you also have Woolley,
Mm-hmm.
who is sick. And maybe the answer is just like you yank one of Michael or McNeely for a larger extended period of time and you just let Woolley rock.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I don't know. But like what
to
I will say is this does seem like a bit of like Louisville's issue.
hmm To your point on Woolley, he finishes a plus 15 in 20 minutes in a game they won by 10. Like he was a net positive when he was on the floor in this one. And I think that is a luxury that like that would be my recommendation if one of those dudes is struggling or you just give Isaac McNeely a little more freedom. Like McNeely is used to carrying an offense and being the only scoring option from Virginia last year, from his time in Charlottesville, where it was like, hey, Isaac, none of these other dudes can hit a three, so good luck taking on triple teams. So like he is capable of breaking them out of a drought, but it does bring up a good question. Like when you do get an off game from um wait a second. Sorry, I completely misspoke. You said what do you do when Brown and McNeely are both off?
Well, two of the three. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
you're not wrong. Like if Brown and Conwell play bad, McNeely can lead an offense the way he did at Virginia.
Thank you.
If Conwell and McNeely play bad, Michael can, so on and so forth. It's just those three guys
Hmm.
shoulder 80% of the pressure from this team, I feel like. And then 7% of that pressure comes from a guy who comes off the bench for 20 minutes a game and Adrian Woolley. And then
Right.
everybody else, it's like, please show up and grab rebounds and dunk the ball, and like we'll call it even.
Yeah.
And so when two of those three guys play bad today, in this game it was Brown and McNeely and Conwell stepped up.
Hmm.
There will be a time where Conwell plays bad and maybe McNeely plays bad too, and then what are you gonna do, Michael? Right?
Right.
Like
Right.
all eyes on you. And I feel like that's where if you go to Durham, Brotherhood Run 2025 champions, the Duke Blue Devils, and like two of the three don't play well, they're gonna attack that third
Yeah,
person.
yeah. I was just noticing as I was articulating my thoughts on McNeely that I pretty much said when McNeely is off and Mikel is off, the solution is just for McNeely to play better, like he's back in Charlottesville, which
Yeah,
is a little nonsensical. But you know what, Isaac, just play better. Rise to the occasion.
honestly, that might actually be the solution though, because I don't know that they have another solution. It's like, Michael, you're playing bad. Figure it out, please. You got 40 minutes to start making some shots because like ain't nobody else coming in to do this. And like I said, when you play the 2025 Brotherhood Run champs, like you're not gonna be able to get away with this the way you did against Cincinnati.
Brotherhood run champs is crazy. They beat Niagara and Howard. Great job, Duke. Yeah, that's what real brotherhood is. Just bringing in your
Hang the banner.
bringing in your like alumni to just beat their teams into a bloody pulp. But
Friends and
anyway,
family payments. We allowed them to make a little money, and that's what the Brotherhood run is all about.
fair enough, I guess. But yeah, to Cincinnati's credit, like they had a really good defensive game plan. I thought the first half they completely mucked it up. I thought Baba Miller was awesome in this game. I think he exited the game with, I believe it was 10 minutes left. Yeah, about 10 minutes when he took a hard foul from Cason Pryor and had a hip injury, but he was like frying them on both ends of the court. He had 9 and 8 and 3, and even to speak to some of Louisville's defensive struggles we can get into, I thought Baba exposed them there, but like he was kind of front and center in terms of just clogging the paint when you had, I mean, him and Mustafa Cham giving you some rim protection. They brought in guys like Tyler McKinley off the bench, who I thought was an impactful defender as well. It just seemed like they kept bringing in forwards and big men in waves and just made life really hard, like completely suffocated Louisville in the paint and forced them into those tough 3-point shots. But to that case, too, I still think like Louisville missed a bunch of open threes in that run that
Mhm.
when Cincinnati went on a run to start the game. Like you had Michael team, he was teeing them up from deep, but he had some good looks that just wouldn't fall. And it's like, thank goodness for Ryan Conwell, the Xavier product, who probably hates Cincinnati, and they ran him off a couple screens, and he really got the offense going.
Yeah, I mean, I think they Louisville missed shots. Like, I'm not trying to take anything away from Cincinnati,
Mhm.
but this is where like my thing on like, was this Cincinnati or was this just Louisville missing shots? Like,
Mhm.
it feels like it was just Louisville missing shots, respectfully.
See,
Um,
I think their guards were like they I think the guards did a pretty good job sticking with your guy, Sincere Harris. He got multiple mentions on the broadcast of being a defensive minded guard. I thought both he and Day Thomas did a pretty good job staying in front of Michael. The only difference is like the second half, there was one particular possession where like Michael got Sincere Harris on him and was just like rocking him to sleep. Sincere stuck with him, but he kicked it back to Sananda Fru, then beat him like on a backdoor cut and found Hadley. Like he got into the paint, had the ball movement to get to hit it to Hadley in the dunker spot for an easy like his easy layup. And that to me, I think, well, I know you say you have concerns about what about those nights when the 3-point shots don't fall, or what happens if you take two of these guards out of rhythm. I think when you look at the entity that is Louisville basketball under PK right now, the ball movement is really good and they share the rock exceptionally well. I mean, they only made 21 field goals in this game, but assisted on 13 of them. And I think when you have someone like Michael who has a bag and yet you have teammates who share the ball really well and it sort of infects the whole roster. Like he keeps the ball moving and never gets too selfish. Granted, I think he probably took some selfish shots in the first half, but he's a top 10-ish, top five pick. So like I'm fine with him being selfish in some cases. But just when you see that he still has the wherewithal to find the open man for to pass up a good shot for a great shot, whatever cliche you want to throw on that, I think it speaks volumes for the offensive ceiling for this team.
yeah, I think like I said, both these teams I think are better than what they showed in this game. I just
Hmm.
think Louisville's a lot better than what they showed in this game too.
Yeah.
Respectfully to Cincinnati, my dog Sincere at 9 though.
West Virginia product, baby.
My dog
Dog.
Sincere, my dog Sincere went out there and said, "I got one. I got one for y'all."
I got it. Yeah, he was fine. He didn't kill them, but
9, 4, 7. Like, well, what are we expecting from Sincere Harris? 30 points? Like he
I
was
don't know.
fine. Like
Maybe maybe
he only
getting
played
double
19
figures.
minutes.
Maybe they just need to clear out and let Sincere rock a little bit because I mean Day Thomas and Sean Abayev, if they get the rock, they're not giving it back up.
Yeah, I'll tell you who else
Uh,
isn't passing. Kirk Risa.
yeah,
And
like
he
Kirk,
also might not enter inside the 3-point line either.
dude. Yeah, like all 7 attempts from beyond the arc. That dude, I don't think has gotten a paint touch since like 2021.
Yeah, he's certainly something to behold. I'll say that. Like he's certainly something to behold. I mean, respectfully to him, I'm not sure he's fully aware what sport he's playing.
Oh man, can we talk about the Louisville defense just for a minute?
Yeah.
Because I thought in the first half, when Cincinnati went up 17-6, truthfully, they could have pushed it even further, but they just take some dumb shots and they miss shots around the basket. I thought they found something with Baba. Like Louisville was blitzing ball screens. They would find Baba on the short roll, who just saw Ali Khalifa across from him and said that's food, and would either take him himself or find someone cutting for a lob, like behind Khalifa. They did a really good job of lifting him and bringing him out of the paint, and I think that sort of illustrates some of the issues, whether it's Khalifa or whether it's Fru. Fru had a decent enough game. I think he finished with 13 and rebounded the ball pretty well too, but it sort of seemed like he only had 11 and 4, so he did not rebound the ball that well. Sorry, that's on me. But I thought whether it was Fru or whether it
Riley
was
just decided he rebounded the ball well. Turns out he didn't do a thing.
he had 11 big points, but I thought both he and Khalifa, like Khalifa really struggled defensively. Like there's no, but that's probably to be expected. Neither one of them could really guard Mustafa Cham. Like Cham has really good touch and sort of was just cooking them on mid rangers. And that's the scary part to me. Like I want to have my guards to be able to play aggressively. And in the second half, when Baba went out, they blitzed some ball screens and forced some turnovers. They succeeded. But it's a little worrying when you have teams that can attack that hard hedge or that blitz better, whether it's a double team or a hard hedge, and they can find an open man to make a smart pass when your line of resistance is either Khalifa or Fru. Like those two guys, unless Fru can just, I mean, maybe it's a comfort thing with Fru or even feeling yeah, a certain level of even freedom to pick up a foul or two and just know you have someone competent behind you. But I mean, Pryor at this point is really out there to just cause chaos. Like he just makes hustle plays and fouls. That's really what he's doing. Like this front court, I like Kenai Roots. I think Hadley is solid, but uh, I really believe in this Louisville team. I think this was a gutty and gritty win. But I'd be lying if I said like just looking at these guys in the front court that I don't have some concerns when they do go to Durham, when they play the Brotherhood Run champs,
Yeah, 20,
when they play Caleb Wilson and Henry Vasar.
you just don't win the Brotherhood run. You know what I mean? First things first, you have to be in the Brotherhood. Second thing, you got to go out there and you got to win basketball games.
Means something. But yeah,
And
what do you make of this Louisville front court, Dion?
this is the Brotherhood runs like that's when you win the Turkey Bowl. You know what I
Okay,
mean? Like
all right,
you have a
enough on the
year of bragging
Brotherhood.
rights. It's more than NIL, man. Like this is bigger than the players there. But I think Louisville's front court's part of why I led by saying when two of the three guys play bad, what is
Hmm.
play 6 games in March? Are you getting a good performance out of those three guys for 6 straight games? That feels tough to pull off,
Hmm.
to say the least. It's a lot of pressure, and it's a lot of pressure on a freshman too. Who, by the way, like we don't talk about this enough. As Saban was kind of talking about with college football, I kind of want to bring it up for college basketball too. The timeline of events. By the time March Madness starts, Michael Brown's already in the NBA. Right? Like he's already like planning his pre-draft workouts. He's already planning like he's meeting he has his agent setting up like pre-draft like flights to places and so on and so forth, right? Like
Hmm.
do you get the full focus out of like the 90 guys that are auditioning to make the NBA for March Madness? And I mean, ideally, yes, but we don't know that
Right.
necessarily. I think the timeline that like both college basketball and the NBA has it on is going to make it really tough for like not just Louisville, but some of these other teams as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great point just in terms of like can this guard trio be consistent enough? Can you get the best version of Michael Brown as the NBA is approaching? Because I mean, maybe Woolley can step in. He's the type of guy who I think you like that's why games like this are so important where he comes off the bench and holds it together so that you get prep for when you get into the heart of conference play and then into the tournament. But it is a tough task when like they don't I'm trying to think last year with Louisville. You sort of they were very oh my gosh, they were very Terrence Edwards dependent. Like he sort of did everything for them. I wouldn't necessarily call him, he was more of like a wing who could handle. Like I'm trying to think if they've had any solid front court presence if they had that last year, but it's not really coming to mind. Like just having a guy who you could throw the ball to and let him go cook one on one. Like I don't think they really have that either. And yeah, it would just I mean, it would just be helpful to have when things break down. Yeah, I'm just pulling up the roster last year. They had Noah Waterman, who was a pick and pop threat who couldn't really shoot, and they had James Scott, who was almost exclusively like catch and dunk type of player. So yeah, we haven't really seen a dominant front court presence under PK like at Louisville yet, and maybe Kenai Roots can get there to where he becomes more of a like. I love his athleticism, I love his mobility. I think he can shoot a little bit, but like at this point, it sort of feels like both he and Hadley are just floor raisers as opposed to ceiling raisers. Like they're there to finish plays, be glue guys, and like I guess have opportunities created for them and hopefully convert on that. So it could burn them down the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the problem the whole offseason, right? Like, Louisville's one of the few teams where, like, I think you could look at the roster and be like, well, there's the issue.
Hmm.
But, like, what can we do to solve it? And I don't
It,
know that there is anything to do to solve it. By the way, I don't think there's anything you can do to stop what isn't an issue either. Like, the only people that can stop Michael, Conwell, and McNeil are those three.
yeah,
So, like, for
that's
every issue he like gave himself front court wise, he solved it with the
mhm.
backcourt. And I think if you're a Louisville fan, you just live and die with it. More
Yeah.
often than not, you're gonna live.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to look at it. I still ranked Louisville in the top five of the our sleepers poll this week. Like I am not panicked on this team at all. I just wanted to raise the concerns in terms of like going forward. Is this defense, is this front court going to burn them down the stretch? Like you mentioned, this backcourt might be so good that it can offset it more often than not, and maybe it's good enough to get them to a Final Four. And once you're there in Indy, who knows what can happen?
Yeah, I mean, you get those guards to March. Guards win in March, right?
Yeah, yeah.